All right. Hello, darling. It is day 22 of my 40-day cleanse, and I'm going to need you to stop waiting to be rescued. I need you to stop subconsciously or consciously telling yourself, maybe someone will save me. Maybe something outside of me will make this easier, will make this better, will make this more manageable. Okay, I put my mic on my stand so I can have my hands, but it seems I want to grab it all the time, all the time. Hello, my name is Bree. My friends call me Breezy. Welcome to my journey of self identity, my own self identity experiment through fasting. And if you're new here, I hired a coach and invested close to $2,000 for my juicing cleanse. You may ask, Breezy, why would you do that? Why is fasting is so simple? Yeah, and it used to be, but sometimes addictions grow if you don't uproot the actual core of why you have this addiction. Me personally, I am a recovering food addict, a food junkie. I'm a junkie for the junk. And most of the stuff I ate wasn't even really junk, but it was decadent. It was, very rich. The quantities, the amount of food I can put away was getting out of control. And so with my last investment, I said, you know what? I've been around this community. I feel like I finally am willing to ask for help, not for rescue, to ask for help through the mind of somebody who's already been doing this, who's already helped people cross that line, cross that barrier, who can cradle me. All you, hard working, just courageous, powerful, wonderful women. You know how good it feels to be cradled in one of those, like, I forget what they put the babies in, swallowed, not swallowed, swaddled. It feels amazing. It feels amazing to be able to outsource somebody who can create a system for you, especially when you believe you've been in survival mode, especially when you believe, like, I don't know what else to do. Can this part of my life be figured out so I can kind of focus on the rest of it? That's why you need a coach. You need accountability. You need a community. You need you need community, dear. I know you were that neurospicy type that took 20 credits and the university banned banned taking that much after you left. I understand. So day 22 of my cleanse. And today I realized something. If you caught the video yesterday, you'll realize that the dam kind of broke a little bit and the water is rushing. And I'm here with my little floaties, like, all right, here we go. Here we go. This was the point, part of the point of fasting was to kind of restart your nervous system. Because if you're constantly frantic and if you self-prescribe yourself as being overwhelmed, the universe reads that as, oh, she's already tapped out. She can't receive anymore. But you're asking for more. You're trying to call in more. But can you handle where you're already at? Can you be grateful for what you already are? Can you actually be pleased that things had to turn out this way instead of the way you assumed would have been better? The way you assumed it would have been easier for you. Day 22 of my cleanse, and I realized I spent too much of my life waiting to be rescued. Rescued by motivation, rescued by a person, rescued by a man, rescued by a perfect moment, rescued by the lottery, rescued by a friend who would see my talents and hire me in their company. And the day, darling, I know how independent you are, and I know how tired you are. The day will never come. Haven't they told us this? I've been waiting for my family to reach out and come and find me. I've been waiting for my friends to say, you know what? I see that you're stressed. How can I be assistance? But when you're going around all haughty-taughty, like you don't need anything, you don't need anyone, but the inner part of you, that inner child who had been abandoned so many times, just kind of wants a hug and be like, you know what, you could do this. Sometimes, if you want to be really real, you want somebody to do the growth for you. Now, how does that work? You gonna make somebody go to the gym for you? We're building backbones here. We're building a legacy that we can be proud of, and that's gonna look different for everybody. It's not laziness. It sometimes can be just learned helplessness. And that can go into how you cope with stress. We all know in your amygdala that houses your emotion, how you react to stress, your fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. It's all stored in that emotional amygdala. And when that's active, your prefrontal cortex that orchestrates your executive decision making, your writing, this is stuff we kind of already know or we have learned. This is not the first time you're hearing this, probably. We can only The amygdala and from what I understand, the amygdala and prefrontal cortex can't be active at the same time. And what activates the prefrontal cortex is writing, journaling. That's what I've been doing. I always, I used to love my penmanship. I love a good pen. And I am being forced, I am being assisted, I am being persuaded to use anything in my tool artillery, which takes pages and pages of writing. Some people in the book The Artist's Way, they call it the morning pages, where you just write, don't lift a pen. Find you a great pen. Uniball, as you know, always makes great pens. A gel pen that could just glide, that you're not creating friction and restriction with. You need something to just to glide, because you don't even want to think about like, damn, this pen is rough. No, no OCD, no ADHD. Do not overwhelm yourself with the pen. Find a really good pen that you like. You need to dump all this stuff out that's been just trying to be calculated in your life, trying to figure everything out. We talked about that yesterday, how you have so many windows open, and it's just your brain likes to conclude things. So if you keep all of these things, or even if you imagine doing something and you don't fully imagine completing it, your brain registers that as uncompleted. And that depletes trust. That is telling yourself, reaffirming to yourself that you do not keep your promises. This person does not follow through. This person does not keep her word. Even if it was your brain telling you like, oh, we didn't got time for that. Oh, we ain't got the money for that. Oh, we ain't got the connections for that. Isn't it crazy how we can transmit such thoughts like this? Our brain puts us in this uncomfortable position and then blames us for getting in that uncomfortable position. It's funny when you think about it, okay? You have to make life just light and fun. Keep your frequency high. Do not shame yourself. You've done enough of that. Let's try something different. Let's go on a different route than saying, I should have known better. Oh, I should have done this better. There is a time in my life where I made $50,000 in like a month and a half. Where is it now? I couldn't hold it. I was already overwhelmed. I'm like, we've never had money. Just get it. I'm uncomfortable with this. So I kept on attracting situations to where that money. I paid off my debt multiple times. And as Dave, oh God, what's his name? The Automatic Millionaire author. Majority of people who get out of debt get right back in debt. And I'm to that point where I'm like, no more. Let's get to the root of this. Huh? You're not stuffing your face anymore for 3 hours a day. Use that 3 hours to learn skills, financial freedom. The quickest way to figure out what your desire is in life and what you're here to master is to recognize what you hate. Do you hate being in scarcity? Do you hate being in survival mode? Do you hate not knowing if you'll have enough? You think you ought to depend on a man? You think you ought to depend on somebody else? Financial freedom is your mission. and it's up to you to learn it and embody it, then teach it. It doesn't have to be to a community. It could just be to your family who's also ignorant in that financial aspect. That's why they couldn't pass you along anything. Anyway, I got my notes over here. I'm just gonna put a I'm gonna get better at I'm just gonna put it right here and just try to speak on it. It's just thoughts that come when you start writing. You just want to write everything down. Okay. Why we do it? Why have we learned this helplessness? Why do we believe that something outside of us has to save us? Because being rescued, make sure that's on. Being rescued feels safer than being responsible. Being rescued feels safer than being responsible. And I'm here to tell you, because I've been on both sides, taking responsibility is one of the sexiest things you can do with your life. Taking responsibility for the trash and the treasure. Knowing that it is up to you and only you. If someone else saves you, you don't have to risk failing. You could just blame it on them if they didn't work out. Or you could blame it on your husband, you can blame it on your auntie, your bald-headed granny, all that. If you wait to get rescued, you don't have to choose. You don't have to show up differently. You can stay with your blinders. You can stay in your corner. You can stay in the dark. If you delay, you don't have to feel discomfort. Isn't that a mind F? Because you already have this low level of discomfort, but you've numbed it through food or addiction or through alcohol or through weed or through promiscuity or through your work or through being too busy, not having enough money. Waiting is a way to avoid disappointment. I know you can see the people who've waited their whole life. They're usually the complainers. They can show, you can see it in their face that they're disappointed because they have outsourced their happiness, their rescuing, their livelihood to something outside of us. And we're here to actually regain our power. That was the theme of yesterday. Activate your power. You're going to activate chaos until you activate your power. I'm learning in real time. This is real time. Brizzy, thank you for showing up like this, because when you look back on this, nobody's gonna believe how far you come. And that's what you should think too. Nobody's gonna believe I got myself out of something that has plagued my family for generations. Generations. Mama, papa, both sides, generations. And what a time we live in that we are so resourceful. Women, we can start our own business. Black women, we can start our own business. Women of color. Isn't that what they keep telling us? There's no better time than now to be on the internet, the wave that is coming, especially for women. Of the trillions and trillions of dollars, most of it's going to be going to women in a few years. I forgot the exact statistic, but it's alarming. It's alarming. The cost of waiting. The cost of waiting is your life staying on pause. You think you're making progress? You're just moving things around. Cleaning your room is nice, especially if you need that to clear your mind. But hyper focus on, okay, my room is to where it needs to be so I can focus and I'm not distracted with all the mess. ADHD, you will get distracted. And you also have the piles everywhere. Okay, that's done. What is actually going to move me forward today that I can look back on and be like, yeah, that's where it started. What little breadcrumb can I put into play? I feel like your soul, God, is giving you breadcrumbs of where you should be headed. The biggest breadcrumb is what you desire in your moment here now. I desire financial freedom. I desire to be around people all over the world. I desire a divine partnership, but let me get mine together first. So when I'm calling in, it's healthy and robust and romantic and pure and clean. So I'm not looking to this person as a savior. I'm not putting that pressure on somebody to be my own savior. I want the title of being my own savior. Me and God. You're fully capable. You don't need family, even though that would be nice. You don't need your friends giving you a handout. You don't need jobs giving you a handout. No. You lose time. You lose self-trust. You lose momentum. You start believing you can't do hard things. Nobody is coming, and that's not sad. That, baby, is freedom. Freedom. Oh, yeah, it's up to me. I can say, yeah, all the odds were against me, and I still did it despite that. Nobody taught me how to do this in my family. Nobody, and my friends own very well-off businesses. And I always was like, oh my gosh, they always come to me and say, Bree, your advice, your wisdom, your humor is just amazing. I'm like, okay, well, what, you gonna offer me a job? What? Like, you guys figured it out. You've seen me do this repetitive cycle thing, and it's not their job to interfere. Just let them be. When people want to offer you jobs, I'm not saying no friend ever offered me a job. I have friends offer me jobs before. Are you reliable to yourself? That radiates out. But if you're a taker, and I know sometimes we mask ourselves as givers, if you're a taker, nothing will ever be good enough. You're going to want the next friend to offer you a job. You're going to want the next course to have more information. You're looking just to take, you're going to take these little cheap, you're going to take. Be a giver so you know what that feels like, and you can be a natural receiver. Today, I'm practicing something different. I rescue myself. I don't need to feel ready. I don't need permission. I don't need the perfect mood. I move anyway, despite of. That's when I gain momentum, and that's when I feel like that is the root of when I really have accomplished great things. Did that in college, 3 degrees, while working 2 jobs and playing a sport. I had no support. Oh, see, I take that back. I take it back. My mother helped me with a few months of rent. Everything else, and it was in Idaho, so it was so much cheaper than California. Everything else was on my back. If I didn't maintain a certain GPA, cut from the team, and your sponsorship is done. Your scholarship is done. Talk about pressure. Pressure. Self-rescue is a decision. It's not a personality trait. It's a decision. You don't have to be born with this. You don't have to necessarily be mentored in this to start. Self-rescue is a decision, not a personality trait. Anybody could decide. You know when you made a decision when everything else is kind of funny. Even those cravings that you had, like, oh, that's funny. That's not me right now. That's where this half point will get. Mind you, before this, I could not stop ordering. I don't know what was over me. I could not stop ordering. I was like, oh yeah, girl, you need to outsource this. I don't care what it costs. When you don't have the money, you think you don't, that's when you need to do it the most. And trust that you will follow through on some big girl shit, okay? A simple rescue method in 3 steps. Number 1, ask, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? A text, motivation, energy, certainty. Oh, what are you waiting for? I've had the same year for 5 years. What the heck are you waiting for? I refuse to have another year like this. I refuse. God, you might as well take me now. Thank you for leaving me here because that's how I know I still got some big girl stuff to do. Some big girl impact to do. Number two, what would the rescuer do? They would give me water. They would give me water. They would get me outside to get some fresh air. They would give me structure. They would get me the calm. They would give me money. We've seen how that plays out. Men have given me money. It doesn't last if you don't know how to steward it. So what's the point? These are skills that are going to pay you dividends in the later run. Number three, do the next smallest rescue action. You're probably just dehydrated. That's why you can't think straight. Drink water. Make the juice. Make the juice. It takes me an hour and a half to juice. I juice for 2 days. It takes me an hour and a half to juice. Do I want to be sitting there? No. Do I want to outsource? Absolutely. But until then, I'm fully capable. Take a hot shower. Sit in the sun for 5 minutes. Write a sentence. I'm safe and I'm committed. And you know what the sentence that hit me today? I am fucking qualified. You are qualified for your purpose. You are qualified for that job. You are qualified for that relationship. I am so qualified and I am so capable of calling in all that is necessary for my prosperity. Shout out to Erin Lyons because she gave me that line today. And I was like, girl, I am capable and I am qualified. I just need to fine tune and refine. I got the natural stuff. I got the natural resources already. You do too. But this waiting it's gonna drain everything. It's gonna put you in that freeze position and it's only gonna frustrate yourself. You don't need a miracle. You don't need to hit the lottery. You just need to move. Movement. The universe has its own language. Movement. It's going to perpetuate what you give it. It has its own system, just like our algorithm. What are you focusing on? That's what's going to be presented to you. 22 days in, the cleanse isn't the hard part anymore. Sometimes it's just staying committed when nobody's cheering, nobody's watching yet, and it's just you and your mind. This is the messy in the middle, what they talk about. It's the truth. So waiting to be rescued is the old story. Rescuing myself is the new one. Once you rescue yourself, you kind of know how to put a play together for other people, especially if you're super stubborn. Oh my gosh, if you could get through your own amagata, you can get through anybody. If you needed this today, comment I rescue myself because day 22 is where people either drift. Mind you, I'm in a group with people from all over the world, beautiful people going through their own phases, through their own seasons of life. I respect everybody in that group. But already people are falling off. You've invested hundreds of dollars in this for a change. And some people, it's just not their time. It's not their season. Me, sweetheart, I'm in it. I tell my coach every time, I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm sold out. I'm sold out. I'm sold out. And sometimes you just got to keep reiterating that today to yourself to be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Your body, your mind, your internal audience is watching. Oh yeah. Oh, this is hard. Oh, she about that life. Okay. Day 22. Stop waiting to be rescued. Nobody's coming, and that's where you have your power. Stop waiting. Stop moving. The day I stop waiting for help is when my power has been called back to me. You are capable. You are qualified. Tell yourself that as many times as you need to. I am capable and I am so effing qualified. Okay? I love you so much. You got this. We got this. I know the storms are happening around you. That ain't got nothing to do with you, baby. I want you to keep your frequency high, sweetheart. Find something to laugh at. Laugh at your own life. Like, that's funny how we got here. Isn't it be even funnier how we got out of this and we showed the whole path? How amazing. I love you, Breezy, and I love whoever's watching right here. What a journey it is to be here. What a blessing it is to be here. Thank you so, so, so much. I'm so grateful. And I will see you tomorrow. All right? Love you. Bye.